And welcome everybody. Trying to see if that thing's recording. Welcome everybody to the Kaiju Clash podcast, your one pit stop for Godzilla, Gamera, Toho, and much, much more. I'm back, baby. From last week, I did not do a show. I was under a lot of work, and I thought it was the best for me, the best of you, and the best of everybody to do an every other week show, so that's how it's going to go from now on. Get it? Got it? Good. I am joined today with a special guest. I don't know where he is. Winston the cat. He walks on all the mix boards and the keyboards, so I can only imagine why people call him annoying. And I didn't tell you. Well, no, I didn't tell you the story. I couldn't have, but I have a story of last week. One of the reasons why I decided not to record was I was actually really frustrated because I actually got a show done, almost done. I was in the news. I was almost done with the news. I looked at the recorder thing and it was blinking, which means it was paused, which means none of what I said was recorded. So I didn't really, and that was not this Thursday, it was last week Thursday, because I tried to get it done so I could air it on Saturday because I was busy Friday and Saturday, but little did I know that it wasn't really recording anything at all, and then when I realized it didn't record anything at all, and I just said, I'll try to do it Thursday night. Well, the Bengals are playing Thursday night, and that didn't really quite happen. Then Friday happened, Saturday happened, and then I just decided I'm just going to skip this week, and it'll be an every other week show. So that's how it is. Before we get into the real show, if you didn't know, this week is the Monster Review of GIGAN. We got a few shoutouts. First, from the 00 Wrestling Review, go to oowrestlingreview.com, or you can go to kaijuclashpodcast.com, and you can find the 00 Wrestling Review link, and it will take you to oowrestlingreview.com. That is my other podcast I do. Alex Strang, independent game designer, and he needs your help. Go to kaijuclashpodcast.com, find the help support Alex Strang link, click on it, and it'll take you to his Patreon page. You can make 3, 6, 10, 15, and dolly 20. I always screw up that. Did I screw up that word? I don't know. But $20 pledges, and I highly recommend you check out that page because it's pretty cool. Another thing that's pretty cool is Kaiju Battle Stories. Go to kaijuklashdpodcast.com once again. Go to the far right tab and you'll click on Kaiju Battle Stories. And there's a slate of stories made from Duncan of Kaiju battles you've always wanted to see. I did the page there, so now there's new stories. There's, I think, 3 or 4 of them. So if you're bored, you have 10 minutes, or you just like reading, go to kaijuklashdpodcast.com, far right tab, and click the Kaiju Battle Stories. And one more thing to promote, actually maybe 2, because I'm iffy on one in my mind now, but for all of you Kaiju Facebookers, there's a Facebook group called the Godzilla Gojira Kaiju Fan Club, and I highly recommend that you join it. It's for Kaiju and Godzilla fans that need a open space to vent out about their Kaiju love. Again, that is the Godzilla Gojira Kaiju Fan Club, or you can go to kaijuklashdpodcast.com, go all the way to the bottom of our homepage, and you'll find the link of it there. So, I think, no. Oh, geez, I'm like I'm a talking billboard here. One more thing. I'm going to also promote it at the end because I've like completely forgot to promote this for ever since I did it like 4 weeks ago. Shin Gojira, I may have covered it in the news, but they have a website actually, and it's got news and it's going to have news, trailers, and it's already got the cast people in it. If you want to go to the website, go to kaijuklashdpodcast.com, scroll down to the near middle, and then you're going to see a white thing that says Shin Gojira website or Shin Godzilla website. And if you click on that, that'll take you to the official website of Shin Gojira, and then you'll check out all the latest news and trailers. It's going to be hard because a lot of it's in Japanese, but I never did the Google Translate website thing, so maybe it'll work. So, I think I mentioned the topic this week, Monster Review Gigan, and I asked people what they thought of them, and I got feedback. First, coming from Paul. I like the original. It is so outrageous. I was watching his first movie, and my mom asked me, that thing with the beak, what is it? He doesn't seem to have much of a challenge for Godzilla. Next, David. The Shower and Final War version 1 were both awesome. Final War version 2, aka Chainsaw Gigan, was a bit too much. Next, Geo. He is, besides Godzilla, my favorite monster. Next, James. Gigan is my favorite Godzilla villain aside from King Ghidorah. Gigan is nearly ruthless. He will team up with kaijus to get the job done, and he has had interesting partners in crime. It seems to me to be quicker to cause chaos, death, and destruction for the fun of it than any other kaiju. They all seem to cause random destruction and death around them, but it seems to be more for the mission or to attract Godzilla's attention than for any other reason. Gigan seems to have a gleeful, screw-it attitude about doing that, seems to enjoy it tremendously. He has been transformed into an incarnation of a more weaponized and formidable opponent in Final Wars, even though he got his ass handed to him quicker, but the fights in Final Wars all seemed hurried and somewhat underwhelming anyways. What kaiju except final boss Ghidorah disguise lasted long, so hip-hop hurrah for what I consider the most gleefully evil kaiju to face Godzilla ever, and more of them in the future movies, please. Oh, before I forget, when I did Gamera, I did have music, but I have music for Gigan too. It's not really that good of music. I couldn't really find the Gigan song, but I found one that would probably be closest to it. So, yeah, we're doing Gigan this week. Monster Review. Woo! Just had to get that in there. Because why not? Next, from feedback, David. When you saw the first movie he was in, how could have tell he was a cyborg? I'm just as confused as you. Next, James. Mega Ultra Chicken. No, he is legend. Next, Matt. Only the newer version. Next, Brandon. Love the monster / concept. Not keen on his usage / appearances. Guess what, Brandon? You can watch the Kaiju Clash podcast episode 8, which is right now, and you can listen to the Gigan Monster Review and know everything about him to get your PhD in Gigan. Now, I don't know if how many people want a PhD in Gigan, but I am the professor, and I will give it to you if you listen to this episode. Give it a thumbs up, and then share it all around the interwebs. Next, Nathan. Gigan is one of my favorite monsters. He's cool looking. He's awesome. Has awesome weapons and can lay some serious smackdown on his enemies. Next, Ashley. Gigan is my favorite kaiju. Next, Randy. One of my top 3 favorite giant monsters of all time. Next, John. One of the most interesting monsters they ever came up with. The design and abilities should have had more screen time. Negatives as I see them. The movie it was in weren't as serious about the kaiju as some of the other films. I didn't like how they changed out his sickles. He needs a reboot movie or an appearance in another Godzilla film. Next, Joshua. Gigan is one of my favorite kaiju. Next, Marco Polo. Yeah, I did make that corny joke. He's cool and violent, but improves with a King Ghidorah or Megalon. Next, Chase. Very exotic looking. Has a wonderful array of weapons and attacks. Not much in the brains department. If you can, talk about the suit actors who played Gigan. I do have one thing I didn't do from Gamer, and I kind of regret, was not give the suit actor names, but I do have the suit actor names in my review. And I talk about, well, I don't really go in depth in them, but I do mention their names. And a future episode, not next time, but in the next few years of the months of the days, I will have an episode of the suit actors in general. So now I got my notes here. Now is the time for you to sit back, relax, and listen to my soothing voice for about 20 minutes where I'll make a loud, obnoxious noise, do this kind of thing, and then we'll go into Kaiju News. A few weeks ago, we did our first ever monster review, who was Gamera. If you haven't seen that episode, I believe it was episode 5, so I highly suggest you check it out and share it among the interwebs. And now it's time for the second ever installment of the Kaiju Clash podcast monster review, continuing with the cybernetic alien Gigan by, believe it or not, popular demand, because people have I asked people, what topic would you want me to see? And actually a lot of people, believe it or not, said Gigan, so I'm doing it now. Gigan became part of the Toho franchise in 1972, played by Kenpachiro Satsuma, making his first appearance in Godzilla vs. Gigan, and his last appearance in Godzilla Final Wars 2004, played by Kazuhiro Yoshida. He has also been in Godzilla vs. Megalon 1973, Zone Fighter also in 1973, and also in Godzilla Island 1997 and 1998. To get sidetracked just a little bit, I have never heard of Godzilla Island until a few days ago. I don't know if any listeners have heard of it, but apparently it was a TV show from 1997 to 1998, and instead of suitmation or suit actors, they used figures and plush toys. I have looked all over the internet for this show, and there are very little bits of the show that are available for free, but when I learned what Godzilla Island was, I felt like I had to tell everyone because it was very strange. And also the intro music was I'm not sure how to describe it, but I should have it for next week. I'll try to find it again for next week, but Godzilla Island, I never heard of that show. I thought maybe it was like a game or a comic or something, but when I looked it up, it was some TV show about Godzilla figures. Or not about Godzilla figures, the monsters are depicted as figures. It was weird, but but going back to Gigan, he is deemed by Wiki. Oh my god! Alright, I'm very sorry about that interruption, but my laptop gave birth to the demon himself and burned my retina a little bit. I'm not sure if anyone else has that problem, but sometimes like the devil wants to give birth on your screen, so like makes it as bright as possible to burn your eyes. That just happened to me, and that actually did kind of hurt, But again, going back to Gigan, he is... did I read that? No, I didn't. Oh my god. Alright, but going back to Gigan, he is deemed by Wikizilla as brutal and violent opponent who won't back down from a fight in the Showa series. Gigan was a dinosaur turned into a cyborg by the Excuse me. What won't you want... Hey, can you take a seat? Yeah, seat. Take a seat. Take a seat. We are interrupted so rudely by... Ooh, there's not space for him. You can fit. There we go, he fit. Yeah, we actually do have a second special guest other than a cat. And he so rudely interrupted. So, want to mention why you interrupted?
Sup, cuz? I was just kind of coming in to get my phone charger, that's all. I left it in the studio.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And so you just rudely like bang the door open?
No, I didn't. I very quietly did, and I put the
and
shush sign to my lips so that you would know I was just coming in to do that, so you didn't have to stop.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Yes.
Because to me it seems like you kicked down the door, you banged the wall as hard as you can, knocked everything over, screamed to the top of your lungs.
That would have been your other guest, the cat.
Oh, was it? Well, I don't know where he went, but I'm sure he's walking on some keyboard that I need.
No doubt. He's probably planning his next attack on your show.
Probably. He's probably planning his attack to have you come in and interrupt again.
So, hey, how about Godzilla? That shit's the bomb, man.
Yeah, it is. That's why
Kaiju.
I did a podcast on it.
I know. I love your podcast. Thanks for having me on, even if it's just a brief second. I do. I listen to it every week.
So,
I'm a fan. I've been a Kaiju fan since
before
I even formed you as sperm.
So are you like one of those fans that are gonna like kidnap me and take me to a desert far, far away?
No.
I would assume not, because you're also my father. So
Hey, how about that? Funny how that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd just be my problem to get back, so it would make no sense to take you away.
So how does it feel to have a son who is famous multimedia platform?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm pretty proud of him. I think that his imaginary success is really something to build off of.
I think this is all pontification for the next Godzilla movie in 2026. There you have it.
There you have it.
Woo!
Okay.
Thanks for being on,
Rick.
Rick.
Thanks for having me. Okay.
Special guest.
Kaiju rocks.
Yes, it does. Woo! Can you get out of that seat? All right, he did. That's Rick, everyone. Woo! So that's probably, 10 minutes of you having no idea what's going on. So I hope you stuck around, because this is actually a pretty good show. Going back to my notes, hopefully not interrupted so rudely again. I'll just go back to here. In the Showa series, Gigan was a dinosaur turned into a cyborg by the M Space Hunter Nebula aliens, and they plot to eventually invade Earth. But in Godzilla Final Wars in the Millennium series, Gigan was an ancient cybernetic monster sent by the Xalians thousands of years ago. Gigan was defeated by Mothra and became mummified, where he then was discovered by the Global Defense Force in the year 2000XX, but in the year 20XX, what's up with the X's? This was set in 2004, so there's only 5 numbers to deal with, so are we supposed to guess? Because I hope it's not in the future, because if it's in the future, then there's plot holes, like very bad plot holes, but as the kaiju expert I am, I should probably have the answer, but guess what? I don't. So going on here, in Zone Fighter, Gigan was captured by the Gorogas for, I hope I pronounced that right, Garagas for repairs on his heavily damaged body, then sent back to Earth. As for Godzilla Island, well, Gigan is a figure floating around like mine on the shelf in my room. Gigan does have 2 body versions. He was green in the Showa series, but in the Millennium series, he was modified to a more cybernetic look, to look as if he was mechanically worked on. With Gigan, he does have plenty of abilities, one being his hooked appendages and his Zone Fighter appearance. Gigan's hooks had explosive charge with impact, and his Millennium hooks were more like scythe-like blades. Gigan also has anti-gravity flight. He can also travel up to Mach 3 in Earth's atmosphere, but in space can travel Mach 400, but encasing himself in a diamond and doing so. I don't know the difference between Mach 3 and Mach 400. I'm assuming that Mach 400 is really, 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 really fast, but I do not know how to measure Mach 3 into miles per hour. Gigan's buzzsaw is made out of unknown material, but is able to cut through flesh, as well as the hull of the Go Tango. Gigan also has laser abilities in the Showa version. Gigan carries lasers above his eye, while his Millennium version has the laser already in his eye. One exclusive power from the Millennium version, Gigan was his bladed discs. Gigan can shoot razor discs from hidden slots in his upper torso that have a boomerang effect. They are sharp enough that if he misses, and they can rip him apart like in Godzilla Final Wars. One thing I didn't do with Gamer was give his video game history, but I will with Gigan. I learned that there are so many different kaiju video games I can probably make another 3 episodes to get them all. So without further ado, Gigan's past video game appearances, which include, however, not in historical order, maybe Godzilla Monster Monsters, Godzilla King of the Monsters Game Boy, Battle Soccer Champion on the Field, Godzilla Arcade, Godzilla Monster War, Godzilla Giant Monster March, Godzilla Archipelago Shock, Gigan Battle Legends, am I really saying Alright, Godzilla Monster Monsters, Godzilla King of the Monsters Game Boy, Battle Soccer Champion on the Field, Godzilla Arcade, Godzilla Monster War, Godzilla Giant Monster March, Godzilla Archipelago Shock, Godzilla Battle Legends, Godzilla Heart Pounding Monster Island, Godzilla Movie Monster Studio Tour, Godzilla Trading Battle, Godzilla Generations, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, Godzilla Save the Earth, CR Godzilla 3ST Battle, Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash, CR Godzilla Descent of the Destruction Gods, Godzilla on Monster Island, Godzilla Kaiju Collection, and Godzilla the Game. Another thing Gigan has appeared in is comics. To start out his comic appearances, we start with a Godzilla vs. Megalon adaptation where Gigan, who is actually named Borodan, gets recruited by the Seatopians to fight Godzilla and Robot Man. Gigan's next comic is Godzilla King of the Monsters, where Neo Gigan, under control of Dr. Oniyama, is sent to Earth from King Ghidorah to fight Godzilla after Flying Ebra is defeated. Gigan makes a cameo in Godzilla Legends, hitting Anguirus in the face. Gigan appears in Godzilla the Half-Century War, where Gigan and King Ghidorah head to Earth and cause destruction until Godzilla and Kaiju come. Gigan fights Rodan and Anguirus at Hong Kong and Godzilla Ongoing. Gigan appears in Godzilla Rulers of Earth as a reoccurring kaiju in several issues. Some more specifications on Gigan's body. A shower version has 65 meters tall at 25,000 tons, while his Millennium version stands 120 meters and 60,000 tons. His Millennium version is double the size of the shower version, which you can listen to a past episode of mine regarding that, episode 2 to be exact. So after you're done listening to this episode, go to that episode, listen to it, and share it among the interwebs. Some interesting facts about Gigan. Gigan was the first ever kaiju to make Godzilla and Anguirus bleed. For Gigan to accurately fit in Mothra's origins in Godzilla Final Wars, Gigan would actually have to be sent to Earth millions of years ago rather than thousands of years ago. Kenpachiro Satsuma, the suit actor of Gigan, also played as Hedorah in the Heisei Godzilla. According to German release, Gigan was probably made by Dr. Frankenstein. In Godzilla Island, Gigan is Godzilla's only non-Earth monster ally. Dinosaur, not dinosaur, Dinozaur, who was a kaiju in Ultraman, has the same roar as Gigan. Gigan is referenced in Sonic Riders, Zero Gravity, and 2 different tracks, Gigan Rocks and Gigan Device. Last bit of miscellaneous interesting facts. Gigan in the comic book series Godzilla Rulers of Earth appears in the shower version in issue 1 and appears in his Millennium form in issue 5. Gigan seems to be an awesome, interesting kaiju, and I agree. Though I would rather his shower version. I still enjoy both. I like the buzz saw on his torso and his blades in the Millennium version. He has many weapons to choose from and can definitely put up a fight with Godzilla. I wouldn't mind another Godzilla vs. Gigan, this time just them, please. He would be number 7 in my list of kaiju to use in future Godzilla films. Want to see the top 5, then listen to episode 6 and share it among the interwebs. But I would more like to see a Gigan solo film where he either faces some other kaiju or shows his origins. He also has been in pretty fun video games, and even though I don't have any Godzilla comics, but that Marvel thing Godzilla was in, I can't wait to buy some and see Gigan. He is a popular kaiju among the people and surely should get more screen time. And that is my overall review of Gigan. I hope you enjoyed that, but we are not done with the show, because as I predicted earlier, I would do something obnoxious like saying how I'm amped. Oh my god, how did I burn my nose? Oh, I said amped, and I think something shot up in my nose, and oh my god, it burns. But I meant to say amped for the GSW show that is today. However, if you're thinking of going there, it might be a little too late, but if you listen to this on the spot, and if you have a private jet that can take you anywhere in 5 seconds, there might still be time. But, oh my god. From that, we get into Kaiju News with a very uncomfortable nose. which is brought to you by Double O Wrestling Review, my other podcast that I host with that chump that interfered a little while ago. Go to KaijuClashPodcast.com and you'll find that link there. It's also brought to you by the Kaiju Battle Stories. Go to KaijuClashPodcast.com, click the far right tab, and it'll take you to the Kaiju Battle Stories, fantasy stories from Duncan of fantasy kaiju battles you've always wanted to see. Alex Strang, go to KaijuClashPodcast.com, click the support Alex Strang link, and it'll click the Alex String link, and it'll take you to his Patreon page. You can make $3, $6, $10, $15, and $20 pledges. And last, Godzilla Gojira Kaiju Fan Club. You Facebookers that want to join the group, go to Godzilla Gojira Kaiju Fan Club. So, we got a bit of exciting news to start this week. Shin Gojira Rep Shooting begins special effects from sci-fi.com. As usual, Goromaru Island is on top of the world regarding Shin Gojira. Satsumi Ishihara, Attack on Titan Part 1 and 2, recently posted that she is wrapped filming. This is in line with reports about Shin Godzilla's principal photography wrapping by November. The next month will be dedicated to special effects work, which is Shinji Hijushi's primary concern over the production. Although Hideki Anu will have final say on the shots, Hijushi's role as special effects director will be key for the film's success. That is very exciting news, and I can't wait for it to come out in the summer. I'm surprised that the special effects work only take November to however long it's going to have to take until they put that in a film and send it to the theaters, but I thought the CGI stuff took like it's not all CGI, so I guess that's why it's not taking forever. But the special effects work take almost years, so I wonder how they can get this done in just a few months. Next, Godzilla 2 monsters revealed, sort of, from KPopstars.com. Warner Bros. And Legendary reveal the monsters appearing in Godzilla 2. Warner Bros. And Legendary released Godzilla in May 2014 with an agreement to release Godzilla 2 on June 8, 2018. Both films feature the Human Monarch Organization, reads Legendary's official statement. Shortly following Legendary's pact with NBC Universal, Legendary acquired rights to additional classic characters from Toho's Godzilla universe, including Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Audiences really respond to Godzilla, said Legendary Pictures CEO Thomas Tull. Today, I'm excited to reveal that film was only in the beginning of an epic new entertainment universe. As a lifelong fan of these characters, I've always wanted to see the ultimate showdown, and today we're pleased to be announcing that and more. This paved the way for developing a franchise centered around Monarch and anchored by Godzilla, King Kong, and other famous creatures. So this is more confirming that Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah will be in Godzilla 2. And going back to a quote he said, as a lifelong fan of these characters, I've always wanted to see the ultimate showdown. Today we're pleased to be announcing that and more. But didn't Godzilla fight Rodan, King Ghidorah? Well, they didn't all fight each other. Wasn't Godzilla, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Mothra all in the same movie? And Ghidorah the three-headed monster. I mean, I guess they all weren't fighting each other, but anyways, I'm excited for the movie, as you should be too. Next, Japan celebrates Godzilla's 61st anniversary by multiple screenings from sci-fi.com. And I also forgot the week I didn't record, that was Godzilla's birthday, so happy birthday, Godzilla. Woo! I would play happy birthday music, but I don't have any. But I do have some music I could share if I can find. Have you ever had that problem where you're on the computer and you can't find that screen or that finger thing? There you go. Happy birthday, Godzilla, 61 and going. That's middle-aged. You're a middle-aged man. Hey, just only 4 more years and you collect some Social Security, eh? So happy birthday, Godzilla. And we'll also be saying happy birthday to Gamera later on. This week, Japan will celebrate Godzilla's 61st anniversary with a 2-day festival that spans across 2 cities. Thanks to Goromaru Island for the details regarding the festivities. November 2nd will include screenings at both Tokyo's Humac Cinemas and Kyoto's South Hall. In Tokyo, where the War of the Gigantuas, even though Godzilla's not in it. 1966, Godzilla vs. Biollante 1989, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991, and King Kong vs. Godzilla 1962 will dominate the day. Meanwhile, in Kyoto, will screen Terror of Mechagodzilla 1975, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus 2000, Godzilla vs. Destroyer 1995. The November 2nd screenings will take place at the same time, thus fans will have to choose which one to attend. Just going here, if I had to pick one where I would go, I'd probably go to the Kyoto one because I'm not a big fan of King Kong versus Godzilla. And, I mean, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, Godzilla versus Biollante, and War of the Gigantuas were good. So I was wondering, at first I'd probably say Tokyo because there's 4 movies, but I also really like Terror of Mechagodzilla, and I also really like Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I would have to probably say I'd rather go to the Kyoto one because Terror of Mechagodzilla, that's good. As I said before, Godzilla vs. Destroyer, that was good. Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, that one's a good one too. So I'd probably go to, if I had to, well, I mean, it's a little too late now, but I'd probably go to the Kyoto one. Crunchyroll reports that November 3rd, Godzilla's birthday, Takakawa Cinemas will hold a special screening for the original masterpiece, Godzilla 1954, followed by the critically acclaimed Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All-Out Attack 2001 with director Shusuke Kaneko in attendance for a live talk Q&A. So there you have it. Godzilla's 61st anniversary screenings. It's too late now, but it did happen. I'm not they were talking about like rumor that there might be a big announcement, but I'm not sure if there was a big announcement to go with it. I mean, there was something at the end of the news that was kind of about it, but I don't think any groundbreaking news was made on those screenings. But I found someone from the Godzilla Gojira Kaiju fan club group shared an article that I thought was pretty cool, so I wanted to share it with y'all. The top non-Godzilla movies to watch from sci-fi-japan.com. They got different Godzilla not Godzilla movies, it's non-Godzilla movies. They got different kaiju films without Godzilla, and they're showing us which ones are the best, or which ones that we should watch. And I got the list of the 3 here. Starting is Gamera the Giant Monster. Some people will claim Gamera simply rode off the back Godzilla's success, although there were many similarities over the years. Gamera has gained popularity and became an exceptional kaiju in its own right. Check out the original Gamera the Giant Monster 1965, or if you prefer a slightly more upgraded version, take a look at the 90s reboot. Japanese toy company X Plus Co. Ltd. recently commissioned a new Gamera Alright, that was an ad I just read. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Or if you prefer a slightly more upgraded version, take a look at the 90s reboot. Based on the 1995 installment, Gamera certainly makes our Kaiju Hall of Fame, and I'd agree too. I should start that like a Kaiju. Well, the only issue with the Kaiju Hall of Fame is this podcast is gonna go long enough that there's not gonna be like enough new Kaiju, and I'd probably have to. There'd be like everyone would be in basically because. From the rate of new kaiju to the rate I would put them in the Hall of Fame, even if it was once per year, it would probably get to the point where I'm an old, raggedy old man, and I'd probably use up all the monsters by then anyways. So that'd probably be the only issue with the Kaiju Hall of Fame. Next movie they mention is Pacific Rim, and Guillermo del Toro's nod to kaiju genre. Human-operated jaggers battle it out with kaiju straight from the get-go. This 2013 blockbuster cuts right to the chase and thrusts you in the middle of the action. If like your kaiju with a little sci-fi on the side, then check it out. Pacific Rim packed in some big name actors and exceptional computer generated imagery, making it Guillermo del Toro's most commercially successful film of all time. Though some say he didn't get the kaiju element completely right, be sure to give it a watch in time for the advent of its second installment, which may or may not happen based on news I've covered in the past. And the final movie they have here is The Host. I think I've watched The Host before. It was like a few years ago, but it sounds very familiar, but I'm not sure if I've seen it before. The Host is a Southern Korean kaiju film that certainly knows how to grab your attention. The titular creature thought to be brought to existence after being exposed to chemical waste emerges from the Han River and immediately terror ensues. The plot centers around a father's struggle to rescue his daughter from the clutches of the monster. The creature, although not gargantuan proportions like some of the others we've mentioned, is made all the more terrifying due to the emotional connection we form with the human characters of The Host. The film invents time in charting the bonds between the humans as they try to reclaim the city. Kang Ho Sung from the frat father is powerful, though those of you who are fans of Netflix's recent sci-fi show Sense8 may find yourself starting at a familiar face in Baedona, who plays the sister of Kang Ho Sung's character. This Asian Film Awards winner is certainly a must for anyone interested in the kaiju genre. So there you have it. Gamera the Giant Monster, Pacific Rim, and The Host made SciFiJapan.com's non-Godzilla movies to watch. And thank you for the person who shared it onto the Godzilla Gojira Kaiju fan club page. Next bit of news is Godzilla's birthday. He turned 61 last Tuesday. Woo! Happy birthday, Godzilla. Soon you'll be almost as old as Rick. Next, Hobby Japan publishes Godzilla vs. Biollante book in December. I found that very interesting. It's from Crunchyroll.com. In December of 2015, Hobby Japan will publish a new book entitled Godzilla vs. Biollante Completion, a non-fiction behind-the-scenes look at the making of the classic Heisei series giant monster movie from 1989. The book will feature interviews, archival material, and photographs exploring the creation of the film. Godzilla vs. Biollante is directed by Kazuki Omori and produced and distributed by Toho Studios. In the film, the rampaging Godzilla faces off against Biollante, a plant monster created when Godzilla spliced with a genetically engineered rose bush containing the spirit of the scientist's deceased daughter. Godzilla vs. Biollante is released on Blu-ray in North America by Eco Bridge Entertainment. Godzilla vs. Biollante Completion will be released to Japanese bookstores on December 16th, 2015. The book retails for 4,212 yen, or also known as $34.76 in America, including tax. So there you have it, Godzilla vs. Biollante book that I wouldn't mind reading one of those, but we move on to Pacific Rim comic that takes you to the early days of kaiju conflict from superherohype.com. I saw that Pacific Rim made the news of the comic thing, but I'm not necessarily sure where the news is. So I'm going to read this very, very long excerpt, and maybe I'll see the news in there because I knew that it made a lot of news, so I should probably cover it, but I didn't really get much from it. Though Pacific Rim 2 has been plucked from the release calendar, the series still lives on in pages of Legendary's new comic series, Pacific Rim Tales from the Drift, set in early days of the conflict with the Kaiju. The Pacific Rim comic series is written by Joshua Falkoff, the Bunker Ultimate FF, and tells the story of one of the Kaiju's many Jaggers, Tactic Ronin, who appears on screen for mere seconds. We spoke with Falkoff about working on the project, which was guided by the hands of Guillermo del Toro. I'm writing from a story that Travis Beckman wrote, who is the original writer for the first movie, and that Guillermo approved and worked with him on. Once I was brought in, I wrote my version of that story and focusing on the parts that I thought were more interesting and what works best in the comic medium. Though I got to actually sit down with Guillermo and actually talk through what he wants out of the comic and what he wanted from Marcus Martz and I in terms of delivering a book that's true to the franchise. Guillermo picked Marcos to draw the book. He sees every page that comes in, approves every script. He's been hands-on in the very best way. I've done lots of licensed books in my life, and generally the person in charge of that licensed book, the person that you're reporting to, is like a licensing executive at the production company or studio. For us, that person is Guillermo. So while everybody at Legendary is looking at everything we're doing, it really comes to Guillermo's opinions and Guillermo's tastes to decide what goes, what stays, what works, and what's true to his vision. To be honest, it was incredibly easy. It was a super easy process once we got to a place where he was comfortable with the story. It was full steam ahead. So this seems more like an interview, or I mean, it is an interview, but I'm not necessarily Pacific Rim comic. Let me get the name. Tales from the Drift. I'm not sure if that's out yet. I think it's on its way out, but it never gave a release date yet. Or it may be already out and I'm an idiot. And like I said, this made news, so I knew I had to cover it, but I'm not necessarily sure where the news is coming from. Next, more Pacific Rim news. Development on Pacific Rim 2 from Cineblend.com. Isn't it time that we got another good old-fashioned monster movie? Guillermo del Toro definitely seems to think so. Fans of the 2013 work Pacific Rim have clamored for a sequel ever since the film hit theaters, and now we definitely have some word on the film's progress. Del Toro posted on an update to his personal Twitter account with an update of the status of Pacific Rim 2. Which reads, Pacific Rim 2, budget and script 1 in, no answers yet. If anything happens, I will post. If nothing happens, I will just keep rambling. According to the director, both script and budget for Pacific Rim 2 have been finalized. As of now, Guillermo del Toro is merely waiting to hear back from the studio whether or not to approve of his vision for the follow-up to the 2013 Monster Melee. The original Pacific Rim garnered a respectable $411 million against a $190 million budget. Good, but difficult to build a franchise in a post-1 billion Avengers world. So the script and budget are finalized. I'm sure whether the studio approved of it or not is already in the news, but I'll cover that next week if it did make the news. So after this, we get a headline that reads, New Tokusatsu film Outer Man announced from Crunchyroll.com. The official website for 57-year-old cult Tokusatsu director Minoru Kawasaki's new film Outer Man has posted a 70-second trailer introducing its story synopsis and main cast. Since the mid-1980s, Kawasaki has directed many tokusatsu-influenced parody films such as Chikabui Shinjijo Iko-chan, 1987. I apologize for butchering that. Ika Wrestler in 2004. Everything Other Than Japan Sinks, 2006. The Monster X Strikes Back / Attack the G8 Summit, 2008. And most recent, Earth Defense Widow, 2014. The story is set in a world where tokusatsu hero TV series Outer Man has gained national popularity for 50 years. Just like the Ultraman series, one day a giant alien exactly look like Outer Man appears in Japan. The truth is soon revealed that unlike the story in the TV series, Outer Man is an evil alien who has been trying to brainwash Japanese people to invade the Earth. The actors who played the hero in the TV series decide to fight against the real Outer Man by transforming into the villain alien in the series, Sylvie Sinjin. So there you go, Outer Man announced. I'm not sure. That's a new Kaiju film coming out, kind of like Ultraman here. I don't see the date that it comes out, but I will keep you posted about that. That's again, Outer Man, coming out soon to a theater not near you, because most likely not listening in Japan, because Japan's number 8 in the most listens, believe it or not. Why is Japan number 8? And I looked on the web on the stats I have, and Japan's number 8 in how many people listen to this podcast. Why isn't Japan number 1? Should be number 1. But moving on here, more X Plus giant monster figures from SciFiJapan.com. The Japanese toy company X Plus Co. Ltd. has provided Sci-Fi Japan with information and high-resolution photos of their giant monster figures scheduled for release in late November 2015. X Plus monster figures can be purchased directly with the company's official Shaoin Rick website. Shaoin Rick offers limited editions of the figures with exclusive features or bonus pieces not available from other retailers. The standard version of the figures were sold by stores and online retailers including Amazon.com and Amazon.co.jp, and Sci-Fi and SFJ's sponsor Anime Jungle. So some of the figures I have here include Alien Metron Jr. I'm not sure, even though I'm a kaiju expert per se, I'm not sure where he's from. His height and his figure height is 10.2 inches, and he costs 14,904 yen, or $123.51 in America. Next is the 1964 Rodan. His height is 10.43 inches, and his width is 15 inches. He is 13,284 yen, or $110.09. And I also covered this one, but Destroy is in here too. 13.4 inches, 27,000 yen, or $2,388 in American dollars. And plus the amount of yen to US dollars fluctuates time to time, so that price may be, the American price may be higher or lower by the time you buy one. So next, Gamera 50th anniversary film screenings from Crunchyroll.com. The Kagezawa Theater in Tokyo is gearing up to celebrate 50th anniversary of Gamera, everyone's favorite fire-breathing flying turtle, with an exclusive set of film screenings and talk events scheduled for November 28th, 2015. So that'll actually be the exact day of my next episode, November 28th. How weird is that? The event is divided into 2 parts. The first part includes a screening of the original 1965 Gamera film and a guest talk by film director, special effects artist Tamu Haraguchi and sculptor Kan Takahama. The second part includes a screening of the rare fan film Gamera 4 Truth, followed by another pair of... Sorry here, my notes are scrambled apart. Of guest talks by fan film director Shinpei Hayahashia. I think I butchered that, so I'm sorry. And Kadokawa executive vice president Shinjichiro Inui and visual effects director Toshio Maika, and film director Kayata Taguchi, respectively. Author Kento Tamori and will moderate the talks. I apologize for butchering that. I know that when I hear what their name actually sounds like, it's going to be completely different than what I said. Both parts will include screenings of the full trailer and the upcoming Gamera film directed by Katsushiro Ishii, along with footage from the film's announcement at the 2015 New York Comic-Con. Finally, both parts will include prizes given away through rock, paper, scissors tournaments. That's how you do it, rock, paper, scissors tournaments. I want to do one of those. So, our final bit of news comes from August Dragon blogspot.com about Shin Gojira promo reel reveals international name. With no prior announcement, Toho revealed that they are screening a promo reel for their latest Big G production, Shin Godzilla, now formally announced as Godzilla Resurgence for overseas markets at the year's annual American Film Market, which just took place in Santa Monica, California on November 4th to November 11th. Over the years, Toho has presented a number of their Godzilla films during the event, but this is the first time they were previewing a film for potential sales a half year before completion. So interesting. They're having previewings. They had previewings of the film. And the international name, and this will probably be the name that comes to the U.S., Godzilla Resurgence. So look for Shin Gojira, Shin Godzilla, or Godzilla Resurgence in the next 2 to 3 years when it's in a country near you, because, let's face it, Japan's number 8, so not many people from Japan are watching, but I'm sure the other 7 are... Well, of course the other 7 are listening. But Japan, really, number 8. Number 8. Come on, Japan. At least be number 2. Japan's got to do something there, man. So, that is the news. That was the news. Maybe it's still news. Who knows? Thanks for listening. I know for me, this is like Stutter City today. I have no idea what's going on. But today's the day I'm going to GSW. I got... it's me and my dad. I got some other people who want to come with us, so I'm amped for GSW. Their next show is December 12th, by the way, so it may be a little too late for you now, but now you know it's December 12th, next show. GSW Grand Slam Wrestling, December 12th, next show. So I guess I'm just stuttering out of excitement for going there, so if I was very incoherent, then I apologize, but I know it'll be better next week because, well, yeah, it'll be better next time, which next show actually is November 28th, which is Gamera's birthday, which would have been the perfect time for a Gamera Monster Review if I only knew. But actually, we're talking about underrated monsters, so still room for Gamera. Make sure you check out www.kaijuklasspodcast.com. Many things on that site, like the Shin Gojira website link to go to shingojira.com. I honestly don't know the website name because it doesn't have a .com, I don't think, but you click the link that says Shin Gojira website on my website, kaijuklasspodcast.com, and it'll take you to the Shin Gojira website where you can see the latest news and trailers of the new Godzilla film. The Niche is also on the kaijuklasspodcast.com. I have their first episode about tokusatsu and what that word means. The Godzilla fan tribute video from TamTam2710. Go to kaijuklasspodcast.com and you'll also find that video there. I highly recommend you check it out. Alex String Patreon link, kaijuklasspodcast.com. Look for the Help Support Alex String link. Click on it, and it'll take you to his Patreon. You can make $3, $6, $10, $15, and $20 pledges. I highly recommend you check that page out, too. Another thing you should check out is Kaiju Battle Stories. Far right tab at kaijuklasspodcast.com. It is refreshed. There's 3 or 4 new stories up there, up to date. Next, YouTube. This will be on YouTube from the Kaiju Clash Podcast. If you type in Kaiju Clash Podcast on YouTube, you'll find us. Subscribe, like, and share. Facebook, Kaiju Clash Podcast. Like it. Twitter, at Kaiju Revolution. Again, at Kaiju Revolution. Follow. We are on Spreaker and Stitchu under Kaiju Clash Podcasts. This is now an every other week show, so next week you'll probably see me re-advertise this episode because this is every other week. Because there's a lot of stress and a lot of work into doing a once a week show twice for 2 podcasts. Our next episode, November 28th. It is not November 21st, November 28th. Underrated monsters. I can think of a few underrated monsters in my head. Maybe there's some that deserve another movie. Maybe there's some that people never liked, but deserve more recognition. So send us your thoughts on underrated monsters. Who's your favorite underrated monster? What would you consider some underrated monsters? There's an unboxing video I have to do, but it's gonna happen whenever it happens. And thank you for listening thank you all for listening, and have a very kaiju-ly week. Good. Bye.